But that's exactly what I mean with the runes and the tarot. And I definitely agree with you when you with tarot you already have a picture.
Yeah.
So and then you have the interpretation of the picture, but it's pretty much it is what it is. Like you can't, the guy is hanging or there is this emperor sitting, or it's like you cannot say, oh, he's having fun. He's like, well, it's like
Yeah.
not exactly the meaning, or like the devil or whatever, like all these cards,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
With runes is it is a you're establishing your own personal relationship with each of the symbols.
Yeah.
And this is actually what I was go through during the course. And Sari was one of the also who recently took the course. It's like you kind of reconnect. Like you find your own entrance to the rune. Yeah, there is, let's say, a direction or where this rune works based on, but it's only based on practice.
Yeah.
It's based on how people before were using those symbols.
Yeah.
And even now is one of the interesting parts for me to discover how the magic knowledge in general is being subdued in so many different ways, as runes as an example. And I'm not even going to go into like so many people believe it's evil and all this kind of stuff, because that's just well, Nazis used it and all this, and some runes are still prohibited, I think, in Germany, for example. Well, because SS symbol was basically 2 runes, and you have swastika is still prohibited, even though when you go to the east, everything is swastika there.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And it's kind of like, because they it's like how to pervert a symbol in a sense, right? Or now, like when I see with runes, and then you have videos, you have all kinds of things. If you need to search for runes, most people use runes for divination.
Yeah.
Right? Now, here's the interesting thing. In my research, what I found, and I have confirmation from other practitioners as well, it only started in like 1970s. And I mean, yes, runes can, but for divination, you can use all kinds of other stuff. For divination, you can use sticks, stones, doesn't matter. Like you can create your own system of divination when you really kind of understand what divination is about. Yeah. One of the most popular one is tarot, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But it's a constricted system. And it's kind of in a sense, system of control, but it also, I can see how it's more closer to the material reality in a sense, because it then, gives you that almost direct answer, and is like what's going to happen, or the timeline that it's happening. So, but because initially runes were used to change reality.
Yeah, that makes perfect. Well, it's not about making sense, but that feels exactly right.
Yeah, they are the
magic.
Buildings. They are it's magic. It's you have the symbols. You're attracting it. You bring in that symbol into your energy field, and that vibration is being enhanced by that symbol. Why? Because behind that symbol is a certain archetype. It's a certain energy that as soon as you well, let's put it this way. It's like talking to multiple gods at the same time. Like when you have like several runes, you have prosperity, you have creativity, you have strength, you have when you combine it all together, boom, you have a certain vibrational harmony. Like in music, you have a song or a piece. And here you have like a rune stave or rune formula that is a combination of all those energies that is given a certain direction.
Yeah.
So when you invite this rune creation into your field, you become it.
Yes.
And another thing,
presumably you're attuning to it. You're coming into resonance with it.
Exactly.
Which begs the two questions actually, and tell me to park them if you're on a roll. Have the runes ever been associated with sound? And I mean, like most things can be equated to a frequency. I just wondered if that had ever been, anyone had been called to do that. And on the other side, what you've just said in terms of we come into resonance with the runic symphony equivalent, the runic reality. Does that suggest that the runic energetic structure is more dominant than our human energetic reality, because what is coming into resonance with what? Which is the leading element? Because that's quite interesting, isn't it? Normally we say that the light, that the people of a lower frequency, darker, denser frequency will be uplifted to the lighter frequency rather than the other way round. So are we saying that runic energetic whatever reality, it is of a lighter, higher, lighter, brighter frequency nature than us?
Okay, I'll start with this question because it's a great question. Neither.
Yeah.
I see runes as neither light or dark. They're both, because runes can be used, and I know this for a fact, that they can be used to harm people.
Yeah.
But that's what makes them also so powerful. They're like electricity. You can create an electric chair, or you can light up a room with electricity, right?
Yeah.
So that's what runes, in the sense, they don't judge.
No, they're a neutral. They're a neutral. This is how we are, and it's up to the human's motivation as to how that is applied.
I wouldn't say neutral, because they carry the volition. They carry the energy jolt, the oomph. They have their own power. They're
right. Okay.
They are more straight, direct. There is less when you really tune into them. When you really, it's kind of like. Would be a good example. Like when we have these, like, oh, is it this or is it this? We have like inner dialogue deciding of. With runes, there's like almost none of that. It's like, this is how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And again, as in my experience, in many cases, even when using, because when it comes to divination, I usually don't use tarot. For tarot, these are the rituals that I shared on the community. Those are the ones that I use. From time to time, just because there's fun, as you said as well, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of really like the structure, because it makes sense, and it's like, oh yeah, you're structuring your manifestation, and why do you need the money or whatever, or attractive person, or start a business. So with runes, there were many cases when, and I'll give you one example. I was invited to start this in Netherlands to go to like a spiritual community and stuff. And I checked with the runes, like, will it work? They're like, nope, like it's not gonna work. There's some inner conflicts that you're not aware of.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, come on, seriously, these are very nice people. Man, there's all these and this is the other part, that when people start talking about synchronicities, all these synchronicities happened, and I met these people, and like I'm here, I was invited, now everything's working out so greatly. And then after half a year, I'm like, yeah, I should have listened to the rules.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of also answering your question. They work on a different level, so they.
How do you use them, Dimitri? Are you using them like a pendulum, or like the I Ching? I mean, are they in little blocks? Do you scatter them? I mean, when you say I use them for divination, what does that look like physically?
Physically, okay, there is a divination practice. You usually there are 24 runes in Elder Futhark, right? So this is the one that I use. You have 24 runes. I have them in a satchel. I carved them myself. So obviously, when you connect and you carve, it's like they become you in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Or not. You invite them to the field. There are many ways how you activate. Like I suggest always to carve your own, but you can also buy one and you can activate it. Still, it still works. Again, it all depends on how you want to do it. And then you have like certain spreads, like in tarot.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
So you have different spreads, or you have yes or no. You pull up a rune. There are ways you throw runes. So there are many ways of divination. But that's, again, as I was saying, I didn't finish the thought. When the runes in 1970s, one guy started using runes for divination. He wrote a book. I don't remember the name. I can look it up. And that's kind of started, which is a good thing. It started to, people started remembering about runes and starting to using. But for some reason, in the English language, from what I see, everybody's using them for divination.
Right.
And even though, okay, but also again, now they have like some use rune formulas, some use bind runes, right? To kind of like the ones that I'm posting on the community, like formulas or connections. But still, bind runes are like 2, 3, maybe 4 runes together, and you have all this tattoos and la la la, and
Quite
it's like when you,
convoluted, quite prescriptive almost.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
I'm not, and just to get me started on tattoos as well, because like as my teacher, like, because I well, thank God, and I didn't find the artist who wanted to do. I had the idea for a tattoo, but thank God I didn't find the artist who would be able to like draw it as I wanted to have a tattoo. Because my teacher, she always says like, okay, tattoo is great. Where did it start? Who was the first to get tattoos?
Yeah.
Cattle. You get to tattoo a cattle to make it sure it belongs to a certain person.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, yeah, it's a branding. When I was growing up, only people who had tattoos were ex-convicts and military guys.
Yeah.
Still, what tribe you belong to? I know some people argue that in some traditions you have, if you're a shaman, if you're like Maori, for example, or some other day tattooed, then but that's different. And guess what? You're not Maori. I mean, like if you're tattooing that on yourself, right? So like, then do that. But then guess what? You're dedicated to that tribe for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And that's a commitment. I'm not saying that, again, there's something bad about tattoos, but it's a very strong commitment to something. Or or people go, oh, this is such a great like energy protection. I want to tattoo it on myself. And I go like, sure. Now imagine you get a shield to protect yourself. And guess what? After you tattoo it, you carry it with you all the time.
Yeah.
You're in the bathroom, you're with a shield, you're with your, you're with your partner, loving. Guess what? You're still gonna have to carry that shield with you. Like that's my take on it. But again, it's everybody's choice if they want to do it or not. I don't recommend it. Why? Because it's a very strong connection, and it's because it's also, again, you have blood when you're tattooing, you have blood, so it's a very strong activation as well.
Yeah.
So and like, I saw some tattoos and I was like one upside rune and one up down. I was like, no. and also, which one runes are you gonna use? Like, it's like there's so many questions for that. But also around coming back to the questions you asked about the runes, who is activating them or not. As symbols, they're just symbols.
Yeah.
For them to be active, that's where you need human energy, human consciousness, human attention. That they are the ones that giving them power.
Yeah.
They're kind of that's why it was easy to lower the frequency of the runes, or let's say their magic powers, because like now we're just gonna use it as language, right? It doesn't mean anything. It's just blah blah blah. You're like their historical parts of like what it is and da da da. But like, so, and as you were saying before, like, the more people start to use it as a common language, it kills the magic in a sense.
Yeah.
There's a very interesting writer. He's a Russian Jewish guy, but he lives in Israel, and he has these. I'm not sure how well. Actually, we'll see. Maybe someday it'll get translated into English. But he has this like very short stories and very funny, very like humorous, but very philosophical as well. So he has this like short stories book about these two demiurgs. Demiurg is like a lesser god that creates worlds, right? And it's about these two demiurgs talking to each other. And it always makes it so fun. Is like one of them, starts to think, is like one of the demiurgs called the technical support. Like, I'm trying working with this earth, but humans are killing it all the time. What am I doing wrong? And it's like kind of these type of conversations. And one of the one of the stories I really like, and they talking to each other, and one goes like, "Why are humans not flying?" It's like, I don't know. I didn't prohibit them to fly. Did you? It's like, no. It's like they just maybe they just don't believe they can fly. And and they go on into this conversation. Is like, so that's the part of the collective consciousness, and this is exactly what we are going through in the world right now. The whole awakening part is like the more people wake up, as in closer to nature, understand that there's a spiritual world, and there is more to that than just earning money and stuff like that. The more chance we have of kind of survival as a whole, as a consciousness, and moving to the next stage, in a sense. Which also remains the question, is like some ask, like, what's going to happen with those who don't wake up?